this thing shuts off. This is Veterans Day. This is a ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery here. I don't know why this thing shuts off. This is Veterans Day. I don't know why the volume's on. This is a ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery. There we go. Now, for a second there, you got two me's, so that really makes up for the gap. Morning, Green Room. Hey, Cujo. Hey, Chuck. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, I said hi to everybody when I first got in here, but my mic wasn't on. And I will blame that on the Democrats. Hey, Andy. Marcy. Congratulations on being first, Marcy. So they're just waiting for Trump at this point. And I am checking my email and having my morning Covfefe. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone's doing fine. Welcome to the broadcast. I am Kevin Williams, your Heavenly Father. And sometimes in the morning, it's early here. I'm on the West Coast. We just get together, we have a little Covfefe, and we have some chat. No big whoop. So if you feel like saying something, say it. If you'd like to be in the chat room, the best place is at youtube.com/KevinlyFather. That's usually the quickest place. Although yesterday Twitch was the quickest platform. I think I'm real Kevinly Father on Twitch. I'm not sure. If Lizzie shows up in the chat room over there, you can ask her. Alaska was just claimed. Never mind. Trump got 3 votes closer to losing the election yesterday. Or in some cases this morning. Most of the news media called it this morning. Remember, the news media doesn't make the decision. There's a salute going on. It sounds like in the background. They don't make the decision. They just look at the math and they determine, well, the lead for one candidate or another, which isn't really a lead, because it's not something. The count for one candidate or another is insurmountable mathematically. And why they haven't called Arizona, I have no idea. It's something like 40,000 ballots yet and a 19,000. I'll find out. Let's look at Arizona. Let's look at Arizona together. Kind of worried about this coronavirus thing, guys. It's worse. It is worse, far worse, than it has ever been in the United States. Hospitals are reaching capacity. That flattening the curve so that the hospitals don't lose go over capacity, that we were trying to do back in April, and everyone was like, yay, we did it. And then we just sort of stopped the curve, but we didn't squash the curve. That's happening. El Paso, South Dakota. In South Dakota, 1 in every 51 people in South Dakota right now are actively infected with coronavirus. Actively infected. Let me get rid of the logo today. This is a somber occasion. For those of you who served in the military, for those of you who have family members who served in the military, thank you. That's what this day is about. At Random makes good points. All those people screaming about how low the death rate is don't take into account that it rises dramatically when you overwhelm the hospitals. Yes, it does. And the more you overwhelm the hospitals, the more hospital workers get the virus. And we have lost plenty of doctors and nurses and orderlies and candy stripers. I don't think the candy stripers go anywhere near that. I really hope the candy stripers. Somebody has to charge those iPads. That's the thing. I don't know if the families provide the iPads for the FaceTiming. Hopefully it's just done by iPhone. We sort of use the FaceTime term is ubiquitous for any sort of communication. With my kids, we usually just use Facebook video stream. We'll call it FaceTiming, but it's Facebook. So it's like the Kleenex of facial tissues.
The President of the
Yeah, it's Idaho. If the nurses have COVID, get on back to work. It's probably happening in other locations as well. Will I take the Pfizer vaccine? Absolutely. I will take whatever vaccine is out there. I mean, Trump is out of the equation right now. And as long as it's looked at by the safety board, which is independent, and the FDA approves it, I'm in. Stick it in me. It's like me on Thursday nights down at the bar. Everyone should be taking the vaccine unless there's some sort of specific instructions for immunocompromised people or whomever. Just take the vaccine. That's the trouble. This country,
the President of the United States, the Honorable Donald J. Trump, has arrived and is being greeted by the Honorable Robert L. Wilkie,
Honorable
Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Ms. Karen Durham Aguilera, Executive Director, Army National Cemeteries Program, Donald and Margaret Overton of the Blind Veterans Association, and Major General Omar J. Jones IV, Commanding General of the United States Army Military District of Washington. Go! Where'd you go? Up and gun! Lower! One shoulder! Oh! Ceremonial! Stand back. At ease! College ready, taut.
I think being buried in Hawaii is a good place to be buried. Congratulations, David, on being first. He doesn't usually say anything. Well, doesn't usually. Sometimes he does, but there's often a lot of standing around. We're getting no, the internet's fine. That's just C-SPAN's feed that was death circling. Trump is now 17 minutes late. No, Trump is somewhere around there. They already announced that he's arrived. So he might be, I don't know, looking at a grave or something. Why do they do it? What's in it for them? Ah, stupid camera's broken. Now, dumb. This happens to all my cameras. They just stop working. Nothing but a black screen. Waste of money. Ah! I spilled my Covfefe on my mouse pad, not on the table where I can just wipe it up. On the wrist support of my mouse pad. I know, this is real. This is about the veterans. This isn't about my anguish. Congratulations, Cujo, on being the first to point out the lens cap. Sometimes I'm silly. Come on, Trump. These dead veterans have better things to do.
The Armed Forces Honor Guard and the United States Army Band are formed and awaiting the President to move to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier to place the wreath.
Oh, he's at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. to show up. She doesn't have to anymore, right? Everybody wearing a mask except Trump and Melania. Oh, no, wait. The guy right out front is not wearing a mask. There's Pence without one. The guy's holding the umbrella's got one. Okay, there's other people there without masks too. There's the second lady. She doesn't have one. The guy holding the umbrella has one. That's not Esper. This arrangement is all about tuba, and I love it. This is so tuba-centric. You never hear this. Is that a sousaphone?
Order!
I see a tuba.
Oh!
It could very well be a sousaphone. I can't recognize the difference from 140 feet. You know what? I bet I can look up. What's he thinking right now? Oh, this is so wet. I'm touching wet things with my hands. I hate it. Thank God I only have to do this one time. He is really filling out that overcoat lately.
Present! Present! All! Order! Right shoulder! All!
So brave. Standing up to the drizzle. No hats, not even a hat. Okie doke. That's probably the end of it. Let's go check out our friends at Fox and Friends and see if anybody interesting was on this morning. There's the Hannity from yesterday. Let's go to our library and see what happened this morning on Fox and Friends.
Now, we hear you there. Thank you so much for your analysis. We appreciate it. And right now, Fox and Friends starts.
Let's go past this.
For the U.S. Senate.
Be open.
If you knew then what you know now, would you have signed the warrant application
Oh, good. McCabe.
against Carter Page?
No, sir.
I think we need to scrap FISA. We need to.
Well, no. We know that. We know that Kevin Kleinsmith omitted words that made it appear as that didn't let it be known to the judges for the FISA application that Carter Page was actually working with the government of the United States, which is the one we want him to work with. That's not Andy McCabe. If it's not Andy McCabe doing anything wrong.
Drastically overhaul and reform the FBI.
Republicans now up
Because of one lawyer at the end. Yeah. Fucking Kevin's.
one in the battle for the U.S. Senate.
Republican Tom Tillis has won a second term. He faced a tough challenge from Democrat Cal Cunningham.
In Minneapolis, crime has become so bad, city officials are now considering bringing in officers from other jurisdictions to restore order.
Hypocrites, all of them. Hypocrites.
Today, President Trump and Vice President Mike Pence are expected to attend the traditional Veterans Day ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery.
He gave it a longer touch today, if you notice, because, it's going to be the last time.
The president will lay a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier.
There's your
11th hour
country
of the
song.
11th day of the 11th month. And that's when the armistice with Germany was signed. Called Armistice Day for a long time. In 1954, it was renamed Ainsley and Bryan Veterans Day. And today
It was not renamed Ainsley and Bryan. Stupid thing to say.
is Veterans Day 2020.
It is such a special.
Let's jump
We're
ahead.
ready. The world is watching.
Here we go. Here's
State Mike
here's
Pompeo raised eyebrows at the State Department yesterday when he said the following.
There will be a smooth transition to a second Trump administration. All right, we're ready. The world is watching what's taking place here. We're going to count all the votes.
Later on Special Report, Pompeo told Bret Baier he would make sure whoever's in office on January 20th has all the tools available, but he still didn't say it would be Joe Biden. Guys?
All right, Lucas, thanks so much. Meanwhile, let's look at the deficits and what the president's really contending. In Pennsylvania, it's pretty significant. It's 47,000. Can he make up those votes? He's got a problem in Michigan, filed some lawsuits there, 145,000. North Carolina, he's up. Why they stopped counting is a big mystery. This has got to stop. Wisconsin, the books have been closed, but they might get a
The stopping county has to stop.
recount there. President lost by 20,000. Arizona, he's cutting it down every day. It's now down to 12,800. Bottom line is, even if these things are valid, even if all these lawsuits...
What is that? That's 40-some thousand votes yet, so he has to win somewhere in the neighborhood of 78%? That's just quick math in my head. I don't know if that's accurate.
They've been filed, and it's pretty thick, have been...
In Pima County and where else? One of the upper counties as well, both of which Biden won. Apache County?
filed, some of them dismissed already, go through. Is it going to be enough to make a difference in the election? Now, I'm hesitant to use polls, especially after they've been so wrong, but these are so stark, I thought I'd share them with you. The Politico Morning Consult poll, 78% say mail-in voting led to widespread corruption. Only 26% of Republicans believe the 2020 election was fair. Only 26%. Yeah. So you wonder why the bulk of which are still standing with the president. It's only been a week.
Well, since the Republicans are only 20 to 25% of any given poll, that would mean that about 80% of the country believes the results of the election. I think Maricopa's almost all in, Chuck, in terms of the vote count.
Here's Senator Marco Rubio.
Yeah, Marco.
At the core of our Republicans, legitimacy comes from people's confidence in
its legitimacy
the elections. And right now, you've got half this country that has doubts about the veracity of this election. And that's why the process that exists in the law, there's a process in the law that exists after the election, before the results are certified. That process has to be allowed to move forward. Otherwise, we're going to have a result here that half the country will harbor significant doubts about. And that's bad for the country.
Right. And so we're hearing these stories one at a time of incidents. And, you know, they are being reportedly looked at by the...
I'm giving him a ring for not saying incidences. Sorry, dogs.
The Department of Justice, the Attorney General made it very clear to look at these specific things. One of those things we told you about yesterday was that...
So Ainsley has resting I don't get it face.
Postal worker in Erie, Pennsylvania, who said his bosses showed him how to backdate these mail-in ballots. Well, that was disputed yesterday because the Washington Post ran a story that said that postal inspectors interviewed that guy and he changed his story. But what's curious is then later in the day, he actually put out a YouTube where he said, I'm reading this story on the Washington Post, and I did not recant my story. And this guy by the name of Richard Hopkins, who was a postal worker in Erie, he said, I'm going to present more evidence that this actually happened today, which would be Wednesday. But nonetheless, there is no evidence of widespread voter fraud at this point. And yet,
there you go.
Yesterday, Joe Biden obliquely addressed that when asked about President Trump and his reluctance to concede the election. He said, look, there's only one president.
I'm really waiting to see which part he's talking about when he refers to it as obliquely.
At a time, and he's the president. He said that the Electoral College decides in December, and that won't be announced until early January. And it seems like at this point, he's not going to sue to get that money from the GSA, although he is fundraising off it. Ainsley.
Yeah, the bottom line is...
So Trump is raising a ton of money, as you can see, but if you look down at the notes in your emails that are asking for the money and on the webpage, the money's not going to any sort of defense fund. The money is going to Trump's new political action committee. It's going to the RNC. Only donations above $5,000 or something like that. You can look it up yourself. But yeah, the money's not going to pay any lawyers.
This is about integrity of the election. Do we have trust? Are we able to go to the polls?
That's certainly not what this is about. This is about who won the election.
Fill out our ballot and know that it's being counted. And if they're
just stop doing it. Don't vote. If you don't believe it's going to make any difference, if you think the whole system is rigged, I encourage you to boycott the system.
Was one illegal ballot, then that canceled out a valid ballot. And last night I was watching Sean's show, and Kaylee was on there, and she had a stack of these affidavits that Lucas was telling us about, the 234 pages. And she said within this stack of papers that she held up, that ream of papers, she said 60% of a batch of ballots had the same signatures. 35 ballots,
wait, who said that?
No. This is about integrity of the election. Do we have trust? Are we able to go to the polls, fill out our ballot, and know that it's being counted? And if there was one illegal ballot, then that canceled out a valid ballot. And last night I was watching Sean's show, and Kaylee was...
Valid ballot was one of my worst... never mind.
...was on there, and she had a stack of these affidavits that Lucas was telling... Are we able to go to the polls, fill out our...
Is she talking about Kaylee that we saw last night?
...ballot and know that it's being counted? And if there was one illegal ballot, then that canceled out a valid ballot. And last night I was watching Sean's show, and Kaylee was on there, and she had a stack of these affidavits that Lucas was telling us about, the 234 pages. And she said within this stack of papers that she held up, that ream of papers, she said 60% of a batch of ballots had the same signatures. 35 ballots, no voter record, but counted anyway. 50 ballots were run multiple times through a tabulation machine.
Right, and we discussed this last night. The tabulation machine would say no, these because there's barcodes on all the ballots anyway. But yeah, show us the 60 ballots with the same signatures.
And one woman, her son was deceased, but somehow...
Or go ahead and take 60 ballots away from Michigan. You're left with 100 and how many thousand ballots?
He got to vote. So they're definitely looking into this. Rana says there were 11. She was on last night, too. She said there are 11,000 incident reports that they just want to get to the bottom of.
Thank you, Todd, for finishing that joke.
Because this is about the integrity of our election and making sure those 70+ million voters that voted for Donald Trump, that their votes are not forgotten. Yesterday, Joe Biden was speaking out, and he's asking.
Thank you also, Marcy, for pointing out that ballots aren't signed, envelopes are signed, but they can be used interchangeably, I think.
For President Trump to step down. You heard Lucas say that he said Trump not conceding is an embarrassment, and he says it will not help his legacy. Here's Biden yesterday. This is a message to foreign leaders.
Letting him know that America's back. We're going to be back in the game. It's not American alone. I've had the opportunity to speak with now.
All right, let's jump ahead. My little preview window isn't working for me, so let's. Oh, good, Russia probe stuff. Hold on, Kennedy. All right, here we go.
News channel, and Mr. McCabe, had kind of a rough day. Watch.
Yeah, he had to deal with a bunch of idiots.
If you knew then what you know now, would you have signed the warrant application in June of 2017 against Carter Page?
No, sir.
Did you mislead the FISA court?
I signed a package that included numerous factual errors.
General Flynn's been prosecuted for lying to the FBI. You lied to the FBI, and you aren't being prosecuted.
General Flynn's situation and mine have absolutely nothing in common. I never, ever intentionally misled the FBI.
You were fired for lying, were you not?
I was fired as the result of a deeply unfair and flawed IG investigation.
And because of that, he is fighting to get his job back. One of the puzzling
lack of candor
questions, though, is why would they have warned Hillary Clinton, given her a defensive meeting, saying, "Look, we're worried about this regarding."
They're not gonna show Martha's questioning of him. So, Martha Blackburn, Republican senator, said, "Hey, so how long have you known Christopher Steele?" And he said, I don't know Christopher Steele. And she said, "I would say it's been 10 years that you've known Christopher Steele. And how long has Bruce Orr known Christopher Steele?" And he said, "Look, I don't know Christopher Steele. I've never met Christopher Steele. I can't say how long Bruce Orr has met Christopher Steele." And she posted that on Twitter, saying, "Ha ha, gotcha." Marsha Blackburn. Did I say Martha? Blackbird? I don't even know what I said. Again, guys, I'm so bad with names. But you know who I'm talking about. Shall we find that? I want to find that because it's pretty bad.
What happened back in 2016, but they did not do that for the Trump administration. And at one point, Mr. McCabe said they didn't want to tip off the suspect because they felt that there could be.
I got it. Hold on. I'll bring it over.
Senator Cruz's questions.
A crime.
Was the IG
I'd like
wrong?
to finish my answer, Senator.
Well, it's my time and
yeah, didn't let him finish his answer either. You got a witness, but don't let him answer the question.
I am got 2 minutes left. How long have you known Christopher Steele?
I do not know Christopher Steele.
I think you've known him about 2 decades, right?
20 years, not 10 years.
How long has Bruce Orr known Christopher Steele?
To be clear, Senator, I don't know Christopher Steele. I've never met Christopher Steele. So that
got him. Post that on Twitter. What is the social media team thinking?
That's not correct. And I can't tell you how long Bruce Orr has known Christopher Steele.
Got him. Nailed him. And it's done. All right, McCabe's going to jail. Like, why? Why? Who thought? Well, I guess we've kind of answered that question. Blackburn's people thought. The people working who decided, hey, this would be a good idea. Let's go work with Marsha Blackburn. They thought it would be a good idea to include that.
Russian moles in the campaign.
Oh, yeah.
And finally, he said he had no new answers to things we had heard before, but he made it very clear, Ainsley, he had no regrets about what he did as the number 2 guy at the FBI.
Yeah, because he believes that he did everything according to what should have been done. We got him.
Well, he was fired for lying under oath and fired for lying not under oath as well. Think about what this did to the country, though, for basically 3 or 4 years. What it did to the campaign, to Carter Page's life.
Right.
How many millions of tax dollars?
Carter Page was railroaded, and that was wrong. But the rest of it, in terms of the country, I was okay with it. In fact, I think what tore the country apart is the fact that when Mueller's report was submitted, it showed 10 different obstruction of justices, and it showed that collusion very clearly happened, but that we were investigating collusion, and that conspiracy couldn't be proven because many of Trump's campaign people pled the fifth. Many of them used encrypted data and wouldn't open that data to the Mueller team. And the big thing, and this is true, they deleted emails. That's page 10 of the Mueller report. Nobody talks about this. Nobody ever talks about it. Anybody who says, well, there's no collusion, no, Mueller's report didn't look at collusion. You know what report did? The GOP-led Senate Intel Committee, and they found collusion. They said very clearly that Trump enabled the Russian attack on our democracy. But that's not a story. I don't know. I have no idea if the media was really out to get Trump. It's right there in the Intel Committee report. I don't think anybody actually read it. They just said, oh, Marco Rubio said there's no evidence. So let's just move on.
Were spent trying to investigate this.
And the reputation of the FBI.
Exactly. And to that point, Mike Lee was talking about that. He said we drastically need to overhaul the FBI. Listen to this.
For me, this isn't about Crossfire Hurricane because it's about something much broader than that. I've been working for the last 10 years on trying to shed light on the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, or FISA as it's commonly known. Mm-hmm. And the long-term chronic potential for abuse, surveillance, warrantless surveillance of American citizens by the U.S. government. This is not okay. I think we need to scrap FISA, and I think we need to drastically overhaul and reform the FBI, whose credibility has been severely and I think unfairly diminished by a few very bad.
This is a Republican speaking. A Republican. Jesus Christ.
Apples serving at the top levels of the FBI.
Many people want to do away with the FISA courts because it's so...
The party of law and order.
Secretive and everything that pretty much goes...
All right, let's skip ahead here. Let's see what else we got going on. Commercial.
To control what?
Commercial.
Get started.
Some common.
And there's just not enough times that you can say.
Thought that was Cory Booker for a second.
And comfort.
What?
The second layer.
You be quiet. Let's get rid of my pillow. Okay, they're having a good laugh. I don't know what that's about. Okay, WeatherTech is now making face shields. What? What is this about?
Here to discuss, host of Varney and Company on Fox Business, Stuart Varney.
Biden wants to raise the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour. That's nothing new. Florida just voted it in. Florida, where Trump won, voted for $15 an hour.
Stuart, you know, this is a great question for right now because last Tuesday, the state of Florida, 60% of the voters there okayed a $15 minimum wage by the year of 2026 in the Sunshine State.
Well, look, when the government sets wages, it tends to be a vote getter. People like it. However, it's also a jobs killer. Now, this report
it is not.
Suggests that 2 million jobs would be lost if we go to $15 an hour. Mm-hmm. But the bottom line is that employers, they can see this increase.
And yet, Seattle, before the virus, was booming. Remember, they put that $15 an hour in, and business was growing. The economy was growing faster at a faster pace than most of the country, despite the $15 an hour.
In labor costs coming at them. They take remedial action. They hire fewer workers because they're getting much more expensive, and they go to technology, like the ordering from a.
Yeah, if without a minimum wage, nobody goes to technology.
pad, you know, in a restaurant. You see, this report suggests that younger people, 16 to 19, they'll be worst hit by a $15 an hour wage.
But by the way, Costco has gone to the order by the pad thing that he's talking about at all their restaurants in every Costco across the nation. Many of those areas have $7 minimum wages, but Costco's doing it anyway. Why? Because it's better. It lowers labor costs. I mean, it's just...
Those
That's always the argument for some reason. Is $15 an hour is going to make you... You're going to have to walk into McDonald's and order by a pad. Costco, I saw it at Jack in the Box long before this. You could order by the screen. But then the last time I went to a Jack in the Box, nobody was using it anyway. But I don't know. I have used it at Costco before.
Entry-level jobs will simply disappear. Steve, I live in New Jersey. I often go to Newark Airport, and that is the classic example of technology replacing humans.
Yeah.
You go to a restaurant at Newark Airport, and you order from a pad.
Yep.
You don't order from the wait staff. Hundreds of people ordering from the pad.
Right. And so you went to an airport because you're trying to kill the train industry, which is trying to kill the horse and buggy industry? Is that what's going on?
No wait staff, or very much fewer. Technology.
We need to stop the progress. Let's jump ahead. We've seen enough Varney for one day. Trump campaign moves ahead with lawsuits. Yeah. Why don't I have my preview? I want my little preview window. It's just all... I don't know, is that Cuomo in the preview window? I don't even know. All right. And now there's nothing. And play. Usually they have a guest in the third hour. Let's just try and jump in here.
Something you'll only see right here.
Here we go.
President-elect's wish list would make it
to what he was up to during.
This is all about
kills people.
At random point.
Sloganeering destroys movements.
Yeah. I'm not seeing a big guest in here. Oh, there's Steven. Yeah, okay. That's not worth listening to. Nobody? I don't know who that is. Oh, I just like his name, Grady Trimble. Let's see what he has to say.
tax plans for the highest of earners. Income, payroll, and capital gains taxes would all go up. So let's take a look at the numbers here. That would mean the top tax rates in some states would be close to 55%. In the highest tax states, they would be more than 60%. Fox.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't even thinking about the Applebee's. But, yeah, you can order at Applebee's that way. Chili, I think, can't remember the last time I was at Chili's or Applebee's. I think the last time I was at an Applebee's, the ordering thing wasn't working. Oh, and you can also play trivia for $2 or just use your phone and have it.
Business has talked to financial planners who say that could increase, or that increase could expedite the big city exodus we've been seeing lately. We know with the freedom of working from home, millions of Americans are considering moving or already have moved to more tax-friendly states like Florida and Texas. Even businesses like the NASDAQ and other stock exchanges are contemplating leaving at a time when cities are dealing with huge budget deficits and considering increasing local
Red Robin then.
Taxes. The Illinois Policy Institute here in Chicago says Joe Biden's tax plan would increase the burden on businesses at a time when so many are reeling.
Does anybody have any opinions on that? Is Red Robin, what's better? Red Robin, Applebee's, or Chili's? Just because of lack of anything else going on today. I know I have the correct answer. I'm just curious as if anybody else does. And my correct answer might be wrong. Okay, so there's something going on in Florida, another hurricane. That happens, November. Yeah, anything? Do we not get a big...
Hi, folks. Joe Namath here.
Oh, good. Joe Namath still alive. That's good to know. Okay. Let's see. Anything else going on here? Nothing going on there. Okay. I think we'll probably wrap up here. Let's see if anything's happening live. Here we go. What are we talking about? Iran here on the Fox?
Remember, this is key because
Subscribe now and we'll make a
The framing on this will be interesting.
Stockpiles of low
Iran's nuclear capability.
Plus, Patriot Plan subscribers will receive a copy of Pete's new book, Modern Warriors.
Breaking news out of the UN. The UN's nuclear weapons watchdog now says that Iran is continuing to increase stockpiles of low enriched uranium. That, of course, is the key ingredient into making a nuclear weapon. It's way above the levels that Iran agreed to in the Iran nuclear deal. And remember, this is key because President-elect Joe Biden has talked about getting back in that Iran nuclear deal, and so far there are very few, if any, signs that Iran has been or will be willing to comply with that. Continuing coverage.
Well, up until now, they have complied the whole time, and then once the United States ripped up the agreement, they said, fine, we're going to start doing shit again.
Breaking news as the information comes in, Senator.
Okay. I don't think they had like a key guest. I think the Trump campaign, it's hard getting any word out of the Trump campaign. Okay, so Biden was somewhere. President Trump and Biden. So where's Trump? Where was Biden?
And we talked to General Jack Keane as well, Sandra, on 9/11. You know,
Biden and Dr. Jill Biden both wearing masks.
We were having the coverage and we were watching the ceremonies down at Ground Zero and the 9/11 Museum. And I remember, you know.
Oh no, Dr. Howard saying 2 employees at the facility where I am. She's in a nursing home, right? Are COVID positive. Wow. Okay. Well, stay away from everyone, and yeah, no visitation. I'm sorry. Boy, that sucks. They should be testing you like crazy. I mean, any kind of tests, IQ tests. You know what else at the facility? I gotta say, chlamydia tests. Syphilis, they're making it big in the nursing homes.
General talking about how, you know, 9/11, as tragic as that was, it was a call to arms for Americans. You know, you had people who were in professional football who would give up their careers so they could join the military and fight for their country. And you had people from all walks of life who joined the military after what happened to us on 9/11 just so they could stand up and really, you know, give themselves into something, as Martha was saying earlier, that is bigger than themselves, the country, the nation, the thing that we fight for. And you kind of look at these things that we pay tribute to. Every year we do this on 9/11. We do it on Veterans Day. We do it on Memorial Day. And then we try and keep this kind of spirit.
Okay. Boy, when was... Oh, they were live because we're not watching Fox and Friends anymore. Let's see if anything else is going on, and then we'll hang it up. So the little segments that I played of Major League Baseball last night, I was showing you guys Game 4 of the World Series, the wacky ending to it, and trying to find stuff. That got tagged by YouTube. It wasn't a copyright strike or anything like that. It was just like, hey, you can't monetize this video. And I should have just left it in there because it's like whether that video gets monetized or not. My live videos don't really get, it doesn't help me. I'll get like 100 views. Sometimes 14,000 views. That could help a little bit, but that's rare. It was 14,000 views the other day. Oh, the Four Seasons Total Landscaping, last time I checked, it was about 14,000 views. But most of the ones, most of it's like this will get 150 views or something on YouTube. So it wouldn't matter. But I'm deleting the Major League Baseball sections. And even with just being that big on the screen, YouTube caught it. And even with me pausing and not playing the audio, they caught it. That's pretty sophisticated algorithm right there. Let's see. Let's go. MSNBC was showing, I guess they're just showing a replay on Android.
Choose from.
And now they're showing a commercial. Okay, kids, I'm going to get about my day now. It's 9 o'clock, so it's time for me to, I don't know, put on clothes or something and get going with my day. I might be editing later. I'll work on the video that he didn't stop the virus video. So maybe I'll go live for that while I'm editing. Maybe not. You guys can come in and chat if you want to, or I encourage you to actually do something productive with your day. Kevin Lee Daughter's taking the car out by herself today. She's been doing that lately. And so far, nobody's died, which is good. Oh, I got to get an oil change today on the one car that actually takes oil. So I got to do that. No, I'm gonna go, Dr. Howard, and we'll be back. And you guys can chat amongst yourselves then. So I'll see you guys later today. I got to get stuff done. And here are the closing credits. I'll keep talking during this. You guys have heard the music. Thanks, ES. Welcome from Germany. Say hi to Andy for us. He's over there as well. Oh, you're having eye surgery today. Yeah, you do win. How are you getting home at random? Who's taking you back home from the eye surgery? Bye, Dr. Howard. Bye, Stephanie. Oh, yeah, please like this live stream. I can't bring myself. Bye, Green Room. Be safe over there in Ireland.